For this tutorial, you're going to take a regular picture and turn it to black and white and use the color range selection tool to bring some color back. You're also going to learn Control I, which you inverse a picture and it changes the black and the white areas of the picture depending on what you want. So let's get started. So first you need to drag your picture over, and then you need to do Control J, or you can go to Layer, New Layer, Layer via Copy. Okay, so I'm just going to go over here and name this Copy Layer so I know that I made a copy of it. So again, that was to drag your picture over and then Control J or Layer, New, Copy Layer, and then I just named it Copy Layer. Okay, then the next thing you want to do is you want to go up to Select. Well, you want to go and save this, but for this tutorial, I'm not going to go and save mine, but you need to go to File, Save As, go to your Google Drive, go to your Files folder for BIM, save it in your Photoshop Lesson 2 folder. If your file stream is not loaded, remember you need to go down here and load your file stream. Okay, so next you're going to go to, after you've saved it, go to Select. Select Color Range. Okay, and it's already done a pretty good selection for me. But if you want to add color to it, because you can kind of see there's some pink down here, you want to go hit the plus sign. You want to be careful because sometimes it can white out the whole area and then you have to start over. So you can see it kind of brings some more pink in because I have pink here and here. And there's a little more there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop because like I said, if you do too much, then it can start getting all this green and you have more to correct later. So then you're just going to click OK. And then you're going to go add a black and white layer. So while this, you see the little, I call them ants racing around, you're going to add the black and white layer. Okay. And then you're like, well, the stuff I want in color is grayscale and the stuff that I want black and white is now color. So what you're going to do is you're going to click Control I and it's going to change that for you. So that's the inverse that you're going to learn how to do. The next thing you want to do is you can go ahead and click this over or leave it. It doesn't matter. You're going to go add a hue and saturation layer. Okay. And then we want to take saturation and we want to turn it up because you can see how it changes the color. So you want to turn it up to 100 all the way up. You can type that in because you want to bring any color out that you can see. All right. And so then what you're going to do next is you're going to zoom in. So Alt will change the zoom. And then I need to start coloring things that are gray that need to be colored. So very important, you need to go back to the black and white layer. You don't want to do this on hue and saturation. Okay. So then the next thing you're going to do is you have to figure out how do you want to color these? What do you want to use? There's several different tools. Okay. And again, remember that white conceals and black reveals. So I want to switch this to black. I'm going to use my paintbrush tool. I'm going to turn it up a little. And you can see it's starting to bring the color back. But then you're like, okay, well, I get over here and I've got green. So let me show you how to fix that. I zoom way in to where I can see it like this. And I use the paintbrush and I make it smaller. Again, you can use other selection tools. It's up to you. Switch it to white. And then I just start removing the green pixels. I'm not going to waste your time on all of this because I actually already did this tutorial, but it did not record sound because I had it turned off. So I'm having to redo it. Okay, so that's 4. I'm going to move it down to 1. You see how small 1 is? Now look, you can just start clicking on these. Kind of click and drag. And it's taking those away. Like I said, you can click and drag them, or you can just double click them. Double click works well when it's at the size of 1. Like I said, there's other tools you could use, but this is easier. You could use the magnetic lasso tool. You could try to use the quick selection tool, the magic wand. You could use some of the lassos if you wanted. But again, for people that are starting out, the paintbrush seems to work better. So that's the tutorial I'm showing you. All right, so then let me zoom back in. Zoom out. Okay, and so you can see that that worked really well to color that part, okay? So again, you can get the paintbrush, make it larger, zoom out, not that far. And then this, got to switch it. So that's the thing, you gotta make sure you switch it back because it won't color, it'll start concealing it and making it gray. So there's a little bit of green, I'll have to come back and fix that later. But you kind of get the idea. Just run over your leaves. Well, you don't want to do that. Undo, edit. So since I did it all together, it undid some of those green marks that I made. So anyways, you're going to go back. You're going to take a lot of time, which I did in another tutorial, like I said. And you're going to go in and show you how to fix this real quick. All right, so I'm going to take the paintbrush first, and I'm going to color, make it a lot smaller. Okay, so color as much as I want. So you see I'm getting a little bit of green over there, so I'll have to go correct that later. And you may decide that you want, because these are like the baby flowers that haven't bloomed, the baby hibiscus. I actually have a plant like this in my yard. You may decide you want to color the green part around the flower. Okay, so if that's the case, maybe make it 2. Then you may want to color that green part, or you may want to leave 1 or 2 leaves around whatever you're doing. Again, it's just personal preference. Okay, I'll make that 1. I'm going to zoom way in. And then I'm going to flip it and just take some of these off that I didn't mean to get in there. Because there's a green leaf behind this one. So I'll make sure I'll take that out. And again, just by dragging down, you can kind of take that out. I think I want to leave a little bit of that color there. I'm going to leave a little bit of color here to where they're kind of connected. All right, and I'm going to zoom out. Okay, so you can decide. See, I kind of like the green better than just leaving this black and white, so it's up to you. And then I would continue to zoom in and fix all of this for that. And then I'm going to go back to the hue and saturation, double click on it. You want the properties tool, and then you can decide what color you want. I'm just going to make it a bright pink. Then if you want to turn the saturation down a little, you can. You can always leave it like at 100 or so if you want. And then the lightness and the darkness, it changes the background kind of color. So kind of play around with that however you'd like. All right. And okay, the last step is we're going to blend the layers. So we're going to kind of blur this a little. So you want to make sure that you have the hue and saturation layer selected. You want to hold down the control key and click the black and white layer. And then you get the little racing ants again. Okay. So then you want to go up to filter. You want to go to blur, Gaussian blur. And then it'll say, how much do you want to blur it? So it's at a 2 right now. So if I'd made it a 4, it would get blurrier. A 1 would make it less blurry. I'm going to put mine at a 3. If you watch the other tutorial on the couch, I think he made it a 1 or a 2. I'm going to leave it as a 3. I kind of want the back kind of blurred more. So I'm going to click OK, and you can kind of see how it's blurred. Control D takes you out of that. And then you have your picture. Of course, you'd want to go in and fix your color better. kind of zoom in and fix some of these things, but you're almost done. Fix your picture a little bit and then turn it in.